Hey everyone, it's Christine here. Welcome to the weekly energy reading. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, this is a weekly energy reading for the week of October 31st through November 6th. We are going to briefly go into the astrology, just the major transits that are happening this week, and then dive into a collective reading to see what energies are coming up, what we need to be aware of. I just want to wish you all a happy Halloween for those celebrating and having fun. And I simply want to express my tremendous gratitude and love. This has been a very emotional, in-depth type of month and season. I swear, Libra season, and even just October as we transition into Scorpio was just a lot. So let's dive in. It's the last day of October 31st for many of us. And those of you in time zones further ahead, you have just entered November. We're still in Scorpio season, second week. And I feel like we've made a deep dive. Let me know, comment down below. Are you still swimming in the shallow end? Are you wading in the deep end? Or do you feel like you already sunk in the deep end of emotions, of what's coming up, of everything that seems to be trying to transform itself? Because I'm feeling it, I swear. We have the first quarter moon happening Tuesday, November 1st. And this is happening in the sign of Aquarius. So this is when the sun, which is in Scorpio right now, is forming a square with the moon in Aquarius. And so we may experience some stress, some tension and pressure, but it's really the way we respond that's going to help us make changes along the way with our goals, with our decisions and life path. That'll help us to continue forward. Wednesday, November 2nd. A few transits, or aspects, I should say. Venus is opposing the North Node. In other words, it's conjunct the South Node in the sign of Scorpio. So this is a good time to reassess our connections with others and attachments, especially belief systems, relationships, values, and whether or not they're still in alignment and feeding our soul, or whether or not it's time to let them go. So you may be feeling some of these themes coming up in some form of tension. We also have Venus opposing Saturn on November the 5th, and Venus squaring Saturn November 6th through the 7th. So you're going to feel a bit of discontent, almost like I got like a rubber band stretching. Because I'll say I also intuit. I would consider myself more along the lines of an intuitive astrologer as well. And you may feel like you want freedom, yet feel like you are feeling more alone or feeling too isolated and you want connection. So there's a lot of contradictory emotions coming up this week, especially when it comes to relationships and to others and also to ourselves. So there's uncertainty as steps start opening up. So without further ado, ooh, sorry, I twisted this. I thought something happened to the camera. Without further ado, let's jump into the weekly energy reading. We're gonna see what's happening. I feel like the energies again are starting to build up. Any of you feeling that way? I feel like after we had the first partial eclipse, things, culminated to an apex, like a roller coaster, and then they went down, and now I feel it building again, this momentum for next week's full lunar eclipse, full moon in the sign of Taurus. Okay, so we got some oracle, and we'll see what else is coming up for us this week. What does the universe want us to know? Okay, we're not going to even pull more. We're going to keep going. Step out of your comfort zone, North Node. And this is all what we are being faced and called to face this season. Scorpio, I think, has to epitomize stepping out of your comfort zone, because it's a lot about endings, death, metamorphosis, and almost like a rehaul, like a rebirth of ourselves, right? It's almost like I got a baby chick cracking out of an egg. The chicken, or the little chicken or chick, whatever bird's in the egg, was comfortable and warm, nested in there, and then it cracks out and it's naked, it's scared, it's like, what's going on? It's cold. So some of you may be feeling a little bit of a pull towards, oh my goodness, almost like you have butterflies. I got from my solar plexus all the way up to my throat. I just felt like butterflies, some anxiety, again, I'm getting a roller coaster feeling. Sometimes when you go too deep, it seems like your stomach goes up to your throat. It's that type of feeling. Some of you may feel just very, I'm getting just nervous, anxious, butterflies types of feeling because you are having to change things up. New things are coming into your sphere. You know that you're going to be changing directions or paths. And there's a sense of, again, uncertainty, because whenever we step out of our comfort zone, it's not like we hold the keys and we know the path. It's not like we have all the puzzle pieces laid out. We're literally stepping from a place that we've known to a bubble, to an energetic sphere where we're like, oh my goodness, do I put one foot in or a toe or what? So this week, some of you are feeling that pressure, that call, that tension, and it may go against what you normally have been doing. And the more we go out of our comfort zone and expand it and stretch it like a bubble, the more confidence and empowerment we gain. So little by little, I've been doing that too. It definitely feels uncomfortable. I'm one that, especially, I have my North Node in Cancer. Pay attention in your natal chart where your North Node lies, because that's what you're here to cultivate and step into in this lifetime. The South Node is where your area of comfort is in. And also, if we look at the collective nodal transits right now happening in Taurus and Scorpio respectively, a lot of us are being asked to change things up, right? The North Node is in Taurus. So depending on where it's transiting in your natal chart, you may be asked to embrace very different values this season, to embrace a different way of living, the way that you do work and how you work with money and experience money and that energy and relationship, and also how you receive money and income and also shared resources. It may be very different. So again, just keep that in mind. I always say baby steps, because I'll just say, if you're doing anything that's very new in your life, whether it's a new relationship, a new job, a new career, a new business, even a new belief system, right? As you continue healing and working, you may be adopting and embracing new ways of thinking and being. And so it's still, you could feel that in the pit of your stomach. I know you know what I'm talking about, and you're like, ooh, but keep going forward no matter how slow. We have to have a lot of compassion and grace for ourselves and just be very mindful of what comes up. There are days where we want to retreat like a hermit crab and feel safe, and other days where we're like, I got this. I was going to say my North Node is in Cancer, and so I used to be someone, I loved going out. I traveled extensively, and then all of a sudden, I'm really comfortable in my abode. I was someone that always escaped my home. Now I'm just like setting it up. It feels comfortable. And I actually have to incentivize myself to step outside the home. So the magic happens there, right? You meet people, you meet opportunities, different things happen. So get ready. I feel like things are starting to shift. Ooh, I just saw a card flip. What other messages does the universe have for us, please? Okay. Is this Isis? Yes. The Egyptian queen, the Egyptian goddess. Magic manifesting, your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. This is very much the collective Taurus North Node energy, because Taurus stays on track, slow and steady, and keeps working, focused, like a bull, keeps going forward. And so many of you at this time are getting very definitively clear, I should say, on your goals, or puzzle pieces are starting to come up or illuminate. Or these are things that you are wanting to call in. So maybe you're thinking right now, getting really deep. What do I really want in my life? Because Scorpio, in the season that we're in right now, it really asks us to dive deep and be extremely intimate with ourselves on all levels. What is going to bring me joy? What is going to bring me happiness? And I don't want to go into the whole philosophy of the external doesn't complete you, but I'm thinking generally, broadly. What is going to bring me joy and contentment and peace in my life? Where do I want to go to next? So think clearly about your goals, what's going to be most important coming up, whether it's at the end of the 2022 or for the coming year in 2023. I feel like some of you have goals, and I want to say dream big. Some of you have goals that are going to require you to do things very differently. And it's going to vary differently. Again, because it's a collective reading, take what resonates. But if your goal is to, I'm getting a lot of like people and businesses. So if your goal is to start a new business, I'm going to say you're going to be out of your comfort zone all the time. Trying new things, expanding, wearing many hats, learning new skills, maybe softwares, networking, meeting new people. Same thing if you are wanting to expand your friendship group or start dating or do healing work, whatever it is. There's a need to focus in. I'm also hearing some fears. To me, this represents connecting to your true power. And I also sense, release the fears, but it's easier said than done, because we could tell everyone, like, release your fears. But little by little, the more you gain confidence in doing things that are different, and the more that builds up, those fears will naturally start to go away. It doesn't mean that you won't ever have fears, but it's going to continue to assist you in going forward. Because if we stay stagnant, if we don't do anything and we stay in our bubble, we're not going to really grow. So this week, there's a focus on growth, internal growth that's happening. Okay, what else do we need to know for this week, please? What else is going on for us? Okie dokes. We have Chiron, healing. And we have healing powers, growth, amends, release, personal development, inherited issues, self-doubt, generational trauma, shame, sensitivity, forgiveness, superpowers, divinity, cleansing, softness, and pain. So right now, Chiron is retrograde in the sign of Aries, a fire sign, until December. And so there is a lot of deep work in conjunction with Scorpio season, right? A lot of it is delving into our shadows, into fears, bringing up to our consciousness what it is that we need to heal, to integrate. And some of this may overlap with some wounds we may have. Check your chart to see where your Chiron is located at in the house and the sign as well. I feel like there's tremendous growth. By the end of November, it's going to be like we're new little chickens out of shells. Third house. I've had this quite a few times. Third house, this is ruled by Gemini, communication, speech, thoughts, social media, excursions, street life, research, siblings, dating, circulation, discussion, surroundings, and sociability. So again, this may really tie in with stepping out of your comfort zone. And my dogs are being social now. Some of you, there's a need to put yourself out there more, especially around your local area. Some of you may be wanting to connect more to your local community, neighbors, siblings, right? This rules siblings, aunts, uncles too, and communication as well. I got that with the throat chakra here about empowerment earlier. Some of you may have your Chiron in the third house, perhaps Gemini. We don't have that here. And you're really putting yourself out there to communicate. It could be something that's coming up for healing. Because if you're someone that's kept yourself in the safe zone and kind of behind the scenes, and now you're really feeling the call and being called to put yourself out there to communicate, whether it's part of your branding, your work, a side hustle, or even just interpersonal relations, there's going to be an element of, oh shit, how in the world do we do this? You know? Communication, I think, is something everyone is always learning to hone in, to develop, to increase, and also to wither away the layers, because there's many elements of that. There's many elements of communication. Oops, A card just fell down there, a deck, I should say. Let's continue on. After this, we're going to peek into the tarot to get some more specifics. Some of you need to speak your dreams into reality. I also got some of you are being called to become more visible in the work that you do, whether it's part of your mission or your everyday life, to not dim your light, to not hide in the shadows. I'm not saying if you prefer, you know, working behind the scenes that you always have to be up front and center, sign up for 1 million speaking engagements and start a book tour. No, or a press tour of any kind. But there's a need to put yourself out there and not remain invisible because you're a light. I felt so guided to light all my candles, even though it's early afternoon here. You're a light to the world, and it's important not to turn that off. Some of you, I think, are reconciling. This is what I'm feeling, are like balancing being out in the spotlight and being within, because there may have been some type of shame, some type of guilt, ostracization. You were ostracized, in other words. Bullying, especially when it comes to the third house, and putting yourself out there. And so as a result, some of you may have retreated. What other messages does the universe have for us, please, for this week? What else do we need to know? These are slippery cards. And I think one turned over. No? I swear. I thought it flipped. I guess not. Okay. We have acceptance. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. There is change. There are things just moving pretty quickly, especially since we had the fall equinox, spring equinox, take it as it resonates, in mid-September. And so for me, with all these changes, something that a lot of us tend to do, it's a human thing too, right? Especially as we fight and we resist, we induce greater suffering because we try to keep things as they are. We try to resist the change. And this week, again, there's an element here of growth, of change, because when you're growing, something is changing. You're not growing in the same comfort zone, perhaps unless you're integrating, but there's a need to accept things for where you are in this stage of your life, whether or not you thought you would be there or you thought you would be in a different place. Because when you accept, you release control, and you're like, okay, I acknowledge this is where I am and this is how things are. Even if I may not agree with them, even if I may not like them, this is it. And when you do that, you release that energy of trying to control and change things. Some of you may be being called this week to accept certain situations that are leaving your life, entering your life, or changing in some way. There's a lot of birds here. There is a huge focus on communication. You're also getting divine messages, or will be, if you haven't already. There's a need to connect more to your spiritual practices this week, because it's going to bring you more communication from your guides, from your spiritual team, and also just honing in on your intuition. I feel like it's divine messages. A lot of them are coming to you because they're going in this direction, going inward. We have true offering. Look at this big bird. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So again, I sense an element of almost like suffering, challenges, almost wondering and feeling like what else could happen. It's been a lot. You know, I feel like I've carried a lot. I've been shouldering and carrying a lot of weight, a lot of responsibility. It's not about ignoring it or bypassing it or going around it. when we just simply accept, and again, it doesn't have to mean that you agree with it. That's the biggest factor here. When we just accept things for how they are, not try to fight them, not try to impose what we wish would have happened, what we hoped would have happened, or what we desired in someone, in a place, in a situation, versus how reality is. When we just finally realize that, not try to change that or try to wish something differently, it's a huge release. It's almost like a recycling effect. If any of you have been dealing with especially difficult challenges as of late, you can take a lot of that pain and envision it kind of being recycled, like releasing that pain energy or whatever emotion you felt, pain, grief, anger, and allowing it, visualize it however you visualize it, a cloud, dust storm, particles, glitter, it doesn't matter. Allow it to like weight off, to drift off into the sun, and allow it to be recycled. Like poof, it evaporates. Some say, or some prefer like having it weighted and allowing it to just drop deep into the earth's core. Because you're about to take flight into something. Everything that you have been through to this point has happened, has occurred on purpose for a reason. So don't feel like you could have changed anything. That's what I'm getting strongly. Okay, let's see what the cards have. I almost feel rushed with this reading. I don't know if some of you are feeling like time is running out, or you just feel like there's so much coming at you. There's a sense of overwhelm, a sense of, I can relate to this, but I'm sensing like waves. Like you may be feeling like time is running out and that you don't have enough time to do what it is you need to, or that you feel like you're not going to get things done. I feel like because timelines are shifting for so many of us, things are changing as your dreams, visions, and goals change too. Every decision we make alters a timeline that we had once perceived. Okay. What additional messages does the universe have, please? What else do we need to know for this week? I heard storm silence. The storm is in the silence, or the silence is in the storm. Again, if there's a particularly large amount of change, influx, maybe chaos going on around you, silence may be a key to tempering all of this. It doesn't mean it's going to go away, but it's like riding a storm. Kind of like the eye of a hurricane. It's like riding a storm and knowing like, okay, things are still going to happen whether or not I choose to respond in this way or this way or this way. The best alternative out of all of these is maintaining my dignity, my peace of mind, and doing what I can to keep my ass calm and continue riding this out. Because everything outside of me, I can't control things. I can't control what's happening in the world. I can't control my job, my employer, anyone else but myself. Sometimes we've got flippers. I see a flipper. Okay, bottom of the deck, look at this. We got temperance. I'm just getting, a lot of this is happening when we have an influx of just changes. It's to balance things out, to realign us, to get us back on our true path. And this is what is happening with the North Node and the South Node at this time. Also major spiritual development, growths, ascensions. I like to call them upgrades, like a computer. We got the Hermit, Virgo energy. The Star card, Aquarius. 4 of Cups, water. 3 of Pentacles, earth, and 5 of Cups. Wow, there's definitely healing. There is a need. Some of you are being called this week to retreat again. And Scorpio season is very much like this, right? We had Virgo and Libra, which tend to be more communicative and focused on, interpersonal relations and also on others. But then Scorpio comes along and it's like, okay, dive back in. It's time to do this inner work. It's time to really transform, because Isis is, I was going to say massively transformative. That doesn't make sense. But again, she's all about magic. And she's all about transformation, completely, rebirth. And so some of you are being called to, I would say, retract your energy, not necessarily isolate, but really take time for yourself. Take time, and we got a lot of light here. Take time to really pay attention to what you need, what your soul is calling for you. Because some of you are really working a lot on your healing. I mean, we got Chiron here. We have stepping out of your comfort zone, North Node. What that means that we are trying to release South Node, right? And not stay in there. South Node is karmic past, right? What we've done before. And so we're healing that by stepping into the North Node. And so there's major elements of healing going on this week. Not surprised with this. Pay attention to your intuition, because you are receiving major, major insights at this time. Remember, it's not going to happen loudly when you're outside and, you know, everything is coming at you. It's during those quiet, retreating moments. Again, the Aquarius card, the star card, which is Aquarius, also speaks to manifesting. You are going to get major insights this week if you haven't already. And again, timelines vary for everyone, but you will be receiving insights about your next pathway, your next steps. Listen to yourself. Again, don't dim your light. I keep getting that. 4 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Again, people, there's been shifts, radical shifts in relationships. Some of you, I feel, are healing from past relationships. I get it from the 4 of Cups. Are releasing relationships, are really rethinking and reassessing your connections. I feel like there is an undoing for some and a strengthening for others. But a lot of you are going to be leaving relationships because of working on yourself. You may be working on your value. You may be working on asserting yourself. In other words, you may have Gemini or Virgo in your chart. I'm getting heavy Mercury here. You may be speaking your truth, and that may upset people. That may rumble people. That may cause people to not respond in the way that you imagine. And that's almost like a green light for you to be like, okay, this is what I always knew was right. I can't keep putting myself in these situations or with these people or allowing myself to be drained. Huge, huge need this week to protect your energy. Be very mindful of where your energy goes. It's that saying I always hear, energy flows where attention goes. It's about time for you. We don't see parties here. But some of you, I feel like there's just been a loss of integration, I feel, a loss of trust in some social groups that you are in. I feel like, especially with the 3 of Pentacles, I get loss of trust, betrayal. It's almost like this isn't working anymore. Because the 4 of Cups, you feel it. And this is a point of contention, a point, there's a phrase here, and I'm not remembering it, but this is a point of like no return. Okay, what am I going to do here? The 5 of Cups is finally realizing this shit's not coming back. Like these bowls, they're turned over. So I have a decision to make. And this week you're being called to really, really get honest with yourself. Again, this is about acceptance. This is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. With people in our lives, it's hard. It's not easy letting people go. There's an element here of attachment too. Look, we have all these strings. There's an element here of attachment. Some of you feel very attached or have been very attached. Perhaps you're dealing with codependency. I'm getting boundary issues as well, but there's an element here of releasing, of letting go what's not viable anymore, because this is going to affect and drain your energy. And sometimes the paths we are meant to continue on do not include the people we most love or care about. It changes. It's so hard. We think sometimes that people or certain people are going to be with us for the rest of our lives. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. It's meant for, it's like, oh, I'm getting like a one shift season, like a one-time season. And that can be something difficult, but we're meant to learn something. So there's something here you're being highlighted, or that's coming up to your awareness. I strongly feel it's around trust, betrayal, boundaries, and really paying attention to your intuition. Some of you are not being valued in your relationships. And it has to do with communication on your part as well, making sure that you communicate your needs, your non-negotiables, not just in romantic partnerships, but with family, with friends, at work. Do not allow people to treat you like shit. And again, it takes time. That's why we keep practicing it. But you guys are getting, I feel, clues about this. Strong realignment I'm getting. Check where your North Node is in your chart. If you have any questions about it or you need help, comment down below. Okay, let's get advice. Can we get advice for this week, please? What's the best way to navigate these energies? This deck and the other one, they're really slippery. What's the best way to navigate this week? Okay, we got the Page of Coins. We got the Hierophant, Taurus energy here. And we got more Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Slow and steady wins the race. With the Page of Coins, it's literally, I'm getting 1 foot at a time. Just mountains may be of significance to you. Some of you are still working through hurdles, climbing mountains, processing challenges. But I'm getting 1 foot at a time. Page of Coins is about balance too. Balancing your needs with the needs of others. Making sure you don't lose yourself, your values. Really pay attention to that. You see I get Libra energy too, but Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus, but I get a lot of symmetrical balancing. Do you see that? If we were to, of course she's not looking at us straight, but we have 2 of these animals, like elk, deer, the mountains, the sun, everything. So there's something about balancing your needs, your wants, your personal, professional life, or some areas in your life. It could be your role, because that's going to help you regain that foundation, that steadiness, so that you feel more emotionally secure and also grounded. Okay, we're going to wrap this up with a few more oracles. See what other guidance the universe can offer all of us for this week. What else does the universe want us to know, please, for this week? Okay. We have Triquetra. This energy of movement inspires creations and life within you. Encourage and delight the senses into life movement. I get a lot of similar energy with the magic manifesting. This also reminds me a little bit of Aquarius energy. Whenever we are down in our, I'll just say, moments, luck, life, it may feel like this is it. It may feel like, I don't know how we got here. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Well, I may know why I'm feeling this way. I don't want to feel this way. But with every type of pain there is, with healing, we come out on the other side, right? Because we don't stay in these energies, in these moments forever. That's the beauty of it. It's I got there's like hope and faith. It's important to remain steadfast to that, because it's easy to continue spiraling down, literally like on the staircase, when you are in these moments of healing, of deep grief, or of a lot of changes in your life. And we have, oh, wolf. You guys, like some of you that have tuned in, I have been getting wolf energy everywhere. Emphasize a deep connection with your intuition and instincts. Yep, the wolf is very much about loyalty, not just to your pack. It's also very much about connections, because wolves are very social creatures. And so again, we have the theme of relationships here. Some of you are definitely reevaluating and releasing connections that are no longer emotionally fulfilling. I sense that there is a shift towards Again, we're in Scorpio season. Deep connection is intimacy, emotional and spiritual intimacy. We're not even talking with many relationships with the sexual part. But this is too about connecting to your intuition and instincts, because wolves, they sense danger. They're very logic-minded too, but also listen to their heart. So in that same way, you're being asked to, again, focus in and hone in on your intuition. That's why you may have to separate yourself from the pack, and people are actually separating from you as well. It works both ways. Sometimes we have the ability to make those decisions and choose to leave relationships, and other times the universe separates us from people, from quote, our pack. I was going to say quote unquote our pack. So pay attention to that. Ooh, this one fell. So I got this new deck, Dark Mirror, which is an oracle deck that really can take a look at our shadows and just see what's going on. So I'm going to just select a quick card and see anything that's coming up for all of us to be mindful of this week. What does the universe want us to be mindful or aware of, please, when it comes to our shadows, healing, wounds, anything we need to know at this time? Thank you. Masquerade. 15. I don't think it's calling for us to go to a masquerade, literally like a party, a ball. But I feel like it's about no longer putting a mask over yourself. Don't hide your true self. Again, similar to what I said earlier about not dimming your light. It's time not to pretend. It's time to be very truthful, very honest, because when you finally come to a full awareness and honesty of where you're at, or where different elements of your life are at, people, jobs, money, whatever it is that you're focused on, that's the only point in which you can fully assess and then move forward. Some of you have been hiding behind masks, or people have been hiding. Is this a bird? This looks like an animal. There's like a beak here. Don't hide yourself. I'm hearing don't hide yourself or dim yourself to please other people, to make other people like you. Sometimes this time away for healing that's happening, it's for our best good and allow us to recoup and reconnect to ourselves on a very deep level, so that once we know who we are and we can love and respect that aspect of us, we take ourselves out into the world. For some of you, this may be what you're being called to do, especially with the third house, because if you're being seen, you can't hide yourself. And it's interesting because there are people that, put on a particular branding, or they put on a facade of some sort whenever they are in the public eye, in the image. And sometimes people have to do that. It's part of a job, part of an image, whatever it calls for. And other times you're being called, I'm sensing here, to bring your true self, because that authenticity is going to shine out, shine through. There is a lot of light here, a lot of sparks. You're being reinvigorated, relit. So do not hide yourself. Some of you are working through fears about being seen, being visible. Shame, I'm hearing shame, guilt. Some of you are working on your sense of worth to be seen. Let's take a look and read from this little book. Ooh, do they have a table of contents? Shit. They don't, but they got numbers. Okay. Masquerade. Here we go. I'll put the page up so you can see it. What I can't have forever, I will have for a minute. What I can't have for a minute, I will hold to me for 1 second. Going dark. There's often guilt in taking the mask of Don Juan or Dona Juana. The seducer is not a master of love, neither of manipulation. He is the master of the ephemeral, of what is fleeting and brief and transient to the extreme. He is the master of the moment. And as such, he forgot all other kind of eternity. There is guilt if you care because you are not building. There's guilt out of loss because you are not treasuring. There is guilt out of indifference because when you don't care, you cheat yourself of meaning and value. Sometimes there is guilt in the selflessness, in the desire itself, and everything leading to pleasure. as if the only pleasure that can be sacred are only those labeled as such. The masquerade is a dance. It is a road that goes in circles and ebbs and flows, and always ends with the first light. I kid you not. First light. See it? Before the time comes, hold it tightly. When the time comes, let it go. So this is speaking a lot, the masquerade, of how fleeting moments are. It's almost like duality energy, but I'm getting, what you're in now, it's going to be leaving. This is for you to allow yourself to recognize these darker elements of what's happening to you, what you're feeling, what's coming up for emotions. I love this energy. I get Venetian energy from Venice. Okay, we got 2 more and we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to leave you on the opposite end with some affirmation, just to contemplate. Sometimes it helps to journal or even to repeat when moments get tough. It's also especially grounding at moments when I face difficulty in my life. I always used to say, one day at a time, Odat, or this too shall pass. Or I'll say the serenity prayer as well, repeatedly, especially when my dogs take like 50 minutes to go to the bathroom. You got to find levity. You got to find ways to cope, not just bypass this. That's not what I'm advocating, but cope with this because it can get heavy. What mantra, what affirmation does the universe want us to know or think about this week or focus on? Okay, we're going to go one more time. If not, we'll just look at the bottom of the deck. Maybe 3 times the charm. Okay. 3rd time. There's something about 3. Some of you may be seeing 3s. I am patient, knowing that whatever is of the highest good is coming to me. You see, this person has like a belly, so they're birthing something. To me, this speaks of your manifestations, your desires. Also, too, the creations of life within you. So some of you are about to birth. Some of you may literally could be giving birth very soon. But to me, this speaks of your creations, your dreams, your desires. Everything is working out as it should. It's all on schedule. As soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power toward what I want. And I'll put these both up so you could see them. Again, there's a big focus on light, knowing and recognizing and really feeling the light within you. And for some of you, this may be the first starting point, especially if you've just come out of very traumatic situations and you're like, I don't see it yet. It's okay. Sometimes you just have to put on your pajamas and go within and just nurture yourself the best way possible at this moment. The light's there. It's just waiting to be rediscovered and with you, from you, and also that's your source of connection. Let's end this with a spirit animal message. Okay, any final messages, please, from our spirit animals? I think one flew. I have my eyes closed. Okay. We got 2. Giraffe, visionary. Rise above earthly matters. Glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path. Stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. This totally speaks to me of Aquarius energy, the visionary of the zodiac. And we got snow leopard, self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. Do you guys see a message here? Strong focus this week on growth and self-development, acceptance, connecting to your inner light, divine beauty, love, wisdom. You guys hold so much more power than you realize. Look at this. A lot more power than you realize. And also, things are unfolding. Everything is unfolding as it should be. I know, because I'm someone, one of my shadow aspects is patience. I constantly, that's why I say the serenity prayer a lot and why I always am deep breathing. It looks like I'm doing Lamaze while I'm walking my dogs. I'm like constantly deep breathing. I'm like, okay, things are coming, things are working out. That's why for me, I find mantras, music, breath to be extremely cathartic and very self-soothing for me. So this week, connect to yourself in a new way. Don't be afraid to step out. I hope this reading resonated with someone. If it did, comment down below. Let me know how your week goes. I really love getting to know you. I respond to all my comments, and I truly appreciate you all. If this was of any help, or if it resonated or provided even a little mini golden nugget, I would love it if you could support me and this channel and to allow others to connect with this message. Like, share, subscribe as you feel called. Otherwise, I will see you soon. I am wishing you a strong, beautiful, more importantly, peaceful week for you. I will see you soon all. Bye.